So what we have here are Philips direct wire T5 LED tubes in 3500K 80 CRI. And as you can see, the vegetative growth is quite nice. Even some radishes as an experiment. But the question is it actually as good as the T5 fluorescent? And just for reference, photobio quantum par sensor, 150-ish micromoles at the canopy. $180, $150, basically below 200 at most of these lower plants, and you can see there's no stretching. Some of these guys are getting up into the 230 range. You can get up to about a 250, 275 micromole canopy with a nice even spread if you get up to about 6 inches from the lights. This is kind of the standard we're going to be testing against an LED against the real standard of 6500K fluorescent. Here's a quick explanation of the grow system that I'm going to be using in the T5 LED versus conventional T5 lettuce grow off. Just going to use two 10 by 20 propagation trays. The upper has holes punched in it for drainage. The bottom will just catch some runoff. And for the media, I'll be using a 50-50 mix of coarse perlite and actually scratch that, regular horticultural perlite and coarse vermiculite. This will just be hand watered with Blue Planet Nutrients 3-part in a custom recipe. Okay, so what I've done here is I've fully saturated the media, and I cut these covers out of just some cheap landscape weed barrier cloth. It's actually plastic, so you can just water right over the top and your solution will trickle down through all the holes nice and even without eroding your media. And I cut some holes where the lettuce will be germinated, so I'm going to run 4 per tray, and there'll be a divider in the middle, so that's 2 of each type under each light once this gets going. And here's the varieties we'll be rolling with. Got the Bib and the Grand Rapids. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop multiple seeds on each one of these holes for the moment. So this left tray here is going to be the Grand Rapids. I'll put a couple extras. I'll just let a few of them sprout and I'll pinch out the weak ones. This seed's been open for a little while. Alright, that was the Grand Rapids. Hard to do this one hand. I'm not a movie maker, I'm a grower looking for the truth in horticultural lighting. Alright, here we go. over germinating these things, obviously, or over seeding them intentionally in case we get some duds. Alright, there's that. Now I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of fine vermiculite right over the top, just as a light seed cover. Lettuce likes to pretty much be sitting right on the surface. Supposedly it actually needs light to germinate. Then I'm just going to water these in with my sprayer. Okay, let's see here. Give them a nice misting. I'll wet these down good, and then probably once a day I'll just mist them on the top, just make sure this vermiculite stays moist till we get germination, which won't take long with lettuce. We should be up and running within, I don't know, I'd say usually 2 days. So we'll check back in when we get the lights set up. So here we have the setup for this LED versus T5 side-by-side lettuce test. What I'm using are just these cheap Duralux 4-foot T5 fixtures you can get on Amazon. They have really crappy ballast in them with a poor power factor, and they come with a, I forget the name, cheapo 6500K lamp comes in them. So the two on this far end are stock. The two here, I've opened and gutted the ballast out of them and wired them for direct wire LED T5 tubes. And I'm running those in a Philips 3500K. As we can see here, these are an LED retrofit tube. I believe these are about a 270-degree beam angle, and they're using the reflector, so this makes it as even as possible of a lamp versus an LED. You're not just using a bunch of point source LEDs with a forward 90-degree beam. It'll be spreading the light comparable to what the traditional fluorescent technology does. You can see the difference in the Kelvin temperature right there. So I will be dropping a divider right down the middle of this to isolate the two sides. I have that all set up, but I need to do a little bit more work on that. And we'll check back once we get some stuff germinated. Also, I'm targeting 200 ppfd through the whole course of this grow at the top of the plant. So that's what these are actually set at right above the trays currently. So here we are, we have some pretty good germination. We're going to call this day 1, which is a Thursday, so I'll start doing an update on Thursdays weekly from here out. As you can see, have a divider in place. This is the LED side so far. See, we got a good number of seedlings germinating. As these get a little bigger, I'll pluck out all the smalls and keep the best of them. And I'll pull this divider up here. You can see on the fluorescent side, same thing, getting some germination. in all the holes. So at this point, obviously they're going to be pretty similar because they're both just sprouted. So from here out, we should start to be able to see if there's going to be any difference in the two lighting technologies.